Well, we're back in Parliament, and that's a rare thing these days. In fact, Parliament had only sat for 13 days since June prior to resuming this week. And unfortunately, the House wasn't sitting as the economy has really been undergoing some difficult times. Thousands of people have lost their jobs, in fact 100,000 since Parliament last lifted. And the reality is the Prime Minister, first in the economic statement and the days that followed, refused to take action on the economy. So now we got him bring forward a budget that he didn't want to deliver but was forced to as a result of the coalition that was there. The coalition served an important purpose, to force the Prime Minister to listen to Canadians and to listen to the opposition parties. And Canadians understood, as we did, that there was action that had to be taken, that doing nothing simply wasn't an option. So if we can run over the budget, I think there's a couple of things that we're concerned about. First of all, it misses a grand opportunity. You know, when you take a look at the moment in time that we're in right now, there's a chance to do something that's bold and visionary, a chance to do Canada's New Deal. In my opinion, infrastructure would have been the right note to hit on this, not to do something as a scattering of political initiatives that are designed to win votes, but a grand vision, an opportunity to build the infrastructure of a new economy. And it's a really missed opportunity. Instead, we kind of see a scatter shot of a whole bunch of different initiatives. I'm concerned as well that it doesn't protect Canadians who've lost their jobs or are about to lose their jobs. You know, I've heard from a number of people who either don't qualify for EI or some that have been knocked off of EI and aren't going to qualify for this 5-week extension. That's simply unacceptable. It opens the door for further attacks on pay equity for women, and that's something that's unresolved from some of their from the economic statement that they delivered not so long ago. It doesn't seize on the opportunities that we have to develop the green technologies of tomorrow. And we see in the United States them starting to lead in this area, an area they were way behind in. They're going to surpass us and overtake us and really take over those jobs if we don't get into a stronger position and lead on the new green economy. It breaks their promises to the provinces, and we're hearing a lot from a number of provinces with respect to equalization. This promise that there was going to be no more bickering by the federal government in their actions has really only caused a deeper divide, and again they're breaking their promises. And one of the worst things that it does is it attaches strings to infrastructure funding. And so for municipalities that are ready to go and want to build projects, they have to jump through all kinds of hoops and come up with all kinds of money, often debt themselves, in order to proceed with those projects. That's going to slow them down tremendously, and it's going to mean for the next 6 to 9 months that a lot of these projects simply won't be done and aren't going to be helping to stimulate our economy. So it's going to be a budget that drives us deep into deficit, $85 billion over the next number of years, but it doesn't do it with a plan, and it doesn't do it in any kind of cohesive way that gives us a sense that we're going to come out stronger on the other side of it. There are some good things in the budget, and things that we certainly support and we fought for, and I think are there because we stood firm. Certainly affordable housing is the first time in a long time we're seeing money being put into affordable housing. Skills development is going to be vital to rebuilding and ensuring that people have the skills they need to work in the economy that goes forward. Making credit available to businesses was one of the most important things in some of the reforms that took place there. The extension to the working income tax benefit and child tax benefits that are going to help some people that are in some pretty tough circumstances right now. But again, a lot of these measures were only brought in fact I would argue all of them, because of the pressure that was exerted through the coalition and the work of opposition parties. And if we hadn't have done that, we would have been left with the economic statement that would have left Canada alone in the world, essentially doing nothing. One of the other problems I think we need to look at is the fact that we can't trust the government in their numbers or their promises. They continually are making commitments that they're breaking, telling us as they did in the last election that they weren't going to run a deficit, that we weren't in a recession, and now doing what they're doing now. You simply can't trust their word or trust the figures. You know, they say that, for example, before all of this hit, that we were running a surplus. It's not the case. In point of fact, the parliamentary budget officer said we were running a $13 billion deficit. So on the way forward, we're going to have to hold the government's feet to the fire. I don't think people want another election right now. I think they want us to try to make this parliament work. That's what we're determined to do. But we're going to hold the government to account to their promises. We're going to hold their feet to the fire. We're going to make sure they must report on their progress, and we're going to monitor them very closely. To use the words of our leader, they're on probation. But certainly in the next coming days, infrastructure, EI, pay equity for women, these are some of the issues we'll be fighting hard to resolve that are unresolved by this budget.